What's up, guys? So today I still got this thing up in the air from the last video I made doing the oil change, but we're gonna be painting some wheels. So I got these 4 wheels here. You know, I actually got these 3 are all sanded down 220. This one I just started it on, but I painted these probably in like 2019. It's been a long time. The paint was starting to chip. They're definitely due for a new color. So I'm gonna show you guys how I paint wheels. I am by no means a professional. I'm doing this in my driveway outside, but anyway, these wheels are already painted. I'm not stripping them all the way down to bare metal. I'm just gonna go off of what I have just to make them look a little nicer. So I guess we'll start off with what I'm doing. So I got this here. It's just Duplicolor. That's the color I'm going with, and I got some 1K clear coat. Usually I'd go with a 2K clear if the option's available, but they didn't have any in the store, so I'm just working with what they had. This will do just fine. I got a high gloss clear coat. I think that paired with the silver is going to look really good on this car. And then I also have some self-etching primer. And the reason I have this is because on these wheels, let me just show you quick, I actually poked through and hit some bare metal on there. So I'm just going to do a very light coat of self-etching primer on all 4 of these before I shoot color, just to make sure that that paint sticks well. Now, generally, I would recommend just going down to bare metal, spray a self-etching primer on there, or whatever your favorite metal primer is, and then go to your color and clear coat. But in this case, I, A, don't have time, B, I don't really want to strip these down to bare metal right now. I am planning on doing it again, but this should get me by for the whole summer, which is mainly my goal. Just make it look a little nicer to get me by. The reason the current paint stayed on so long is because I did originally strip them down to bare metal, but that's besides the point. So as far as prep goes, really all I did was just rinse these off with water, scrubbed them a little bit with soap, and then got them dried up, and I just started sanding. Now, right now, I just have them all sanded in 220 grit. This one's not quite done yet, but these 3 are. And then I'm going to jump up to a 320 and then a 400 before I get onto my primer. And like I said, I'm just doing a very light coat of primer on these just to make sure that metal's covered up so the paint sticks well. So that being said, I'm going to get back to sanding, and I'll catch you guys when I'm ready to start spraying some primer. And I should mention too, when you're sanding your wheels down, you want to make sure you get everything. Okay, you want to get everything at least scuffed up a little bit, just so that you get good mechanical adhesion from the primer and paint across the whole wheel. And I guess that's really it. Like I said, this is by no means a professional job, but I mean, you'll see in the end, they should turn out pretty good. I'm really excited to see how these look. These are factory Evo 10 BBS wheels. And just in case any of you guys were wondering, if you have 9th gen Civics, Evo wheels do fit on these cars very well. I'm just on Tyne S-Tech lowering springs all around, and these wheels fit almost perfectly flush with the fender, front and rear, with no spacers or anything. So do with that information as you will, but they look good. Alright, so I got a little layer of primer on all these now. I forgot to record between finish and sanding. Basically all I did was just blow it off with the air gun and then hit it with some isopropyl alcohol twice and then blowed it off with the air gun again just to get it dry. And then I did a really light layer of primer. You can see there's not much on there. That was mainly just to cover up any bare metal on there so that when I do the color coat that sticks good. But this is probably about as much primer as I'm going to do. I used this stuff here, like I showed in the beginning. I maybe used a half can for all 4, more than enough, and then we'll go on to the color coat, and we should be good. So we're getting on to some color coats now. So I'm just kind of going light on the first coat, just to get some paint on it. Hit it from the other side. I'm staying probably that's what, 6 to 8 inches away from the wheel. There you have it. That's the first coat done. These ones are already starting to dry a little bit, but it's looking really good. I had to put a little bit of tape on the paper for the tires to prevent overspray. The wind was knocking them down, so, but yeah, we'll do probably 3 coats of color on all these. And then we got to let it dry, and we'll get on some clear coat, but just after 1 coat, that finish is looking really nice. And then too, when I am spraying them, so I guess I only showed doing 2 sides, but I'm going from all 4 corners. So I'll start on that side spraying, then I'll go on this side, and this side. And that's just to ensure that I'm getting paint on everything. And as I go on my second coat, instead of standing here, I'll probably stand somewhere like this and kind of do the same crisscross from all 4 angles, switch it up a little bit, just like I said, to make sure I'm getting paint in all the spots. Now on that second coat, I'm going to really make sure that I'm getting plenty of paint in the lug holes too, because I mean, they're kind of tricky to get it in, but wow, yeah, that color's going to look really nice. I'm excited now. So I just went through and did the second coat on these, and as you can tell now, most of those spots that I did kind of miss with the color on the first coat are pretty much covered now. So, and that third coat, if there's anything missing now, is going to cover those. I went quite a bit heavier on the second coat than I did the first coat, just because, you know, the first coat's mainly just get the color down, and while that paint is still tacky, I think I waited about 15 minutes, and then I went and threw on the second coat. So now pretty much anything's covered and they're looking great. My goal with this color was kind of to mimic the factory color of these wheels, which I think I almost got that nailed. Like, I don't know, these are gonna look really nice. This is basically just like a lighter shade of what they were before. They're more of a gunmetal gray. Now I'm going for a little bit more of a silver. But once that clear coat's on there, I'm really going to see what the color's going to look like, and that's going to make them a lot glossier too, so I'm looking forward to that. Alright, so now I got the first coat of clear coat on there. And you can really see that gloss and depth coming through, versus these are a little more flat. I guess the camera's not really picking it up super well, but you can see this one's got some clear, that one does not. And like I said, I'll probably go about 2 coats on these, and I'm doing kind of the same spray patterns as I was before, but I'll start spraying these ones so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm trying to overlap my coats a little bit all the way down, moving kind of quick since the clear is going to get a little runny if you go too slow. And I'm doing that same spray pattern as I was with the paint. And I'm going from 4 different angles at the wheels. I'm going to switch it up on the second coat. And depending on how that second coat goes, I might just leave them at that, or I'll do a third, depending on the gloss. We'll see, but yeah. Get the other side. And now, I'm no professional painter, so I'm sure some of you guys are going to critique it a little bit in the comments, but yeah, that's that. I got one more to go and get the first coat of clear on, then I'll come back for a second coat after letting it sit for probably 15 minutes. Between the third color coat, I waited about a half hour just to let that dry up a little bit before I went on with clear. And then with the color coats, I think I did 15 minutes between coats, between 3 coats. So, and the clear, I'm probably going to go about 20 between the coats, just to let it tack up a little bit so that it's not completely dry, but it's not still wet. if it's completely dry, the clear is just going to run straight off the second I spray it. So we want to avoid that. But yeah, I'll come back to you guys after I get the second coat on, and then we'll go from there. But they're turning out really good. Well, I got that second coat on these things of clear, and honestly I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna wait another 20 minutes, let this dry off a little bit. I mean, you can tell it's already starting to get dark, but you can really see the gloss and depth in the paint now. And I should say, so since I'm just spraying the faces right now, I'm gonna wait until this is dried up, and then I'm gonna mask off the back of the wheel pretty much up until that little lip on the inside. And I'm gonna spray the barrels as well. I'm probably just gonna do a couple color coats on those with one, like, I'll prime them and then just do like 1 to 2 coats of color, and then probably just 1 coat of clear, just so that the whole wheel is the same color. I don't really have means of, you know, hanging these to paint them. Otherwise I would just do it now. But I mean, if you're painting your wheels like me, you know, I don't have a shop like that's built for paint, or like paint booth, I guess. Yeah, not a shop, just a paint booth. So I don't have a good spot to do it. I'm just doing it in my driveway. That's one option you have as far as getting the barrels, or you could just run it like this. I know plenty of people that just paint the faces of their wheels and run it like that, and really it's just a good way to get a new color on there. But yeah, I suppose I'm probably just going to cut that here, unless I do another coat of clear. We'll see. I'm probably going to end up leaving them like this, and then I'll start the video back up tomorrow when it's light out. I'm going to let these sit for at least probably 20 to 24 hours before I mount them on the car. And yeah, I'll pick the video up when I have them mounted up so you guys can see what they look like when they're all dried up and mounted. Alright guys, it's the next day. Rolled one of these out so you can look. I haven't mounted it on the car yet. I'm actually in the process of fixing the exhaust. I got that thing. I don't even know if you can see it. The mid pipe's unbolted though, because it was leaking at the cat. But anyway, I'm gonna get these mounted up here soon, but that's the final product. Got a really good finish on all these, super glossy. I was looking around, there's no runs, anything like that. I guess the whole point of this video is it's fairly easy to paint your wheels. You do it yourself. You can even do it in your driveway like me, and you can get a really good finish out of that. But that's all I had for this video, and hopefully this helps some of you guys out. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed. But that's it for today. Have a good one.